What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this video. So, you guys have been asking all last week, I know, and it's time. So last week, Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo released at Walmart early, exclusively, and it will be released everywhere else on October 6th. But I was able to pick up my copy, and I have seen it multiple times now, and you guys have really been wanting my spoiler-free review. So don't worry, this review is spoiler-free, so if you can't pick it up until October 6th or later, this does not contain spoilers. It's just kind of my general thoughts about this new Scooby-Doo movie and just kind of what I am excited about with the future. So Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo actually does continue on from Return to Zombie Island. How it does, I will not say, that is spoiler, but it's really interesting, and I think that's what kind of sets apart this movie along with the last three. Now, I will say, as much as I defend Return to Zombie Island, and I say I enjoy it, because I do, I just don't love it, but I don't hate it, this is definitely an improvement over it. So don't worry, y'all. Be excited for this one if you haven't seen it. So now for each character, oh my goodness, these characters are so much fun in this movie. Mystery Inc. is so much fun in this movie. I felt like there were no real awkward moments compared to maybe Return to Zombie Island when they were trying to just hang out. But in this movie, they totally seem like the friends that we know and love, and each character gets to shine. Now, there is guest stars like Elvira, Bill Nye, and even Scarecrow from DC, and they in no way tamper with the Mystery Inc. gang's screen time. They don't overshadow the gang at all. Everybody gets shared screen time and everybody makes sense within this movie and the story. Now, let me go through each character a little bit just so you can kind of get a sense. Again, no spoilers though. So, Fred, I really felt like Fred was a lot of fun. He kind of continued his story arc from Return to Zombie Island, which was a lot of fun to see. I'm excited to see where that's going to lead, because I will say, it feels like it's not done. Now, Daphne is probably my favorite character in this movie. She really just went full blown, just like into the Halloween spirit, just like, I need a really cool costume, I'm gonna have fun this Halloween. And she honestly feels like a Be Cool Scooby-Doo version of Daphne just within this movie. She's just having a lot of fun. She's like hanging out while trying to solve a mystery. And she's just so much fun in this movie. Now, Velma, the one that we are all kind of worried about, she's doing better. In this movie, she definitely does better than Return to Zombie Island and Curse of the 13th Ghost. She does not kind of get annoying like she has been. And I will say, actually, her story that's continuing on within this movie really makes sense. Her story arc makes sense now from watching this movie. Why she acted the way she did in the last two movies, it makes sense in this movie now, because she's going through a character, a story arc for her, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really interested to see where they're going to take it. As for Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, they're Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Love them. They're goofy. They're fun. They run. They eat. They're just fun. One thing I will say is that Scooby-Doo, Frank Welker doing Scooby-Doo, he is actually going back to his speech impediment now. So Scooby-Doo within this movie says a lot more R's at the beginning of his words. I'm wondering if this has to do some with Scoob criticism, people saying he talked too well in Scoob, but Scooby-Doo definitely is getting his speech impediment back in this movie, and I really appreciate that. Even Shaggy acknowledges it. He acknowledges Scooby's speech impediment, and I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited and hopeful that they'll continue on with that. As for the guest stars, Elvira, she is so much fun. Honestly, she fits into Scooby-Doo so well. I would not even, would not care if she joined more movies or episodes. I want to see her more. She is so much fun in the Scooby-Doo universe, and her interactions with the gang, especially Daphne, just seems so natural. Now Bill Nye, this is kind of where people were getting worried, because Bill Nye just pops up. But again, within the story it makes sense, and actually Bill Nye is such a fun character in this movie. I did not know I wanted Bill Nye with the Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. gang until I watched this movie. This movie, I'm like, okay, seriously, can we have Bill Nye on speed dial and just be like, Bill Nye, I need help with the mystery, and he's just like, I got you. He is so much fun. I love his character in this movie. I mean, it's him, you know? Now, Scarecrow from DC. This is what really turned me off with the initial trailer, because I'm not a huge DC fan. I really don't care about superheroes. I just don't. And so when I saw Scarecrow and the DC kind of intertwining within this, I was like, But, oh my goodness, no. I love his character. I love what he does in this movie. He actually, without spoiling, helps a certain Mystery Inc. member kind of realize their arc. Oh my gosh, I love his character in this movie. It makes sense within the story, and actually, I could see more potential with him in the future. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, with the overall story, again, this movie takes place during Halloween. This whole movie takes place during one night, and it's really interesting to see that, you know, just kind of a one night thing. We see maybe a few hours, you know, it takes course over a few hours. But I really, really enjoyed this story. I think it was a really unique way to connect these movies. And again, I do not think this is the end of this story they're creating, and I hope it's not, because there's so much potential with where they leave off. I feel like they could go in so many different directions and do so many cool things, so many cool reveals. But I do really enjoy the story. Again, the story's way better than Return to Zombie Island. But I will say, I think there's some parts that drag just a little too much. They are driving in cars quite a bit in this movie. It makes sense within the story's context, but I do feel like they are in the cars just a little too long. I wish they would have gotten out of the cars just maybe a little sooner, maybe like 5 minutes sooner, but I never felt bored. I just felt like once they got out of the cars, I was like, oh, finally. You know, like, but I wasn't like, oh, finally. It was more like, okay, what's gonna happen next? Let's get out, you know, like, let's move on type of thing. So I think that's my biggest critique, because I feel like they're just in the cars just a wee bit too much. But again, it makes sense in the story, makes sense for the overall mystery, because the villains are actually these toxic, waste-infested pumpkins. Let me tell you, these pumpkins are so much fun. Like, they kind of remind me, of the rotten robots from Scoob, just pumpkins. They're so much fun, and I actually kind of really like the story with the pumpkins. You know, they were created with toxic waste, and then they actually eat people. There's like this king pumpkin, and he eats people, and then they turn into like zombified pumpkins, and it's really cool. It kind of gets a little like, oh my gosh, like people are getting eaten, you know? It's a little like, gets a little bit like, whoa, Scooby-Doo's going here, you know? And it's really cool, and I really appreciated that they kind of pushed it that far a little bit, you know, with this one. I feel like a lot of the moments within this movie were kind of like Return to Zombie Island wanted to be this, but just didn't dare to, if that makes sense. But again, I really enjoy this one. Now, the movie takes place in Crystal Cove, partially, and it was a lot of fun to see Crystal Cove again. It's not exactly the Crystal Cove that we saw in Mr. Incorporated, but there are some spots and things that you will see within the backgrounds that you'll be like, oh my gosh, look at that, oh my gosh, remember that. There is actually a few character cameos that are so cool, and I think is so awesome that they included. One is from a pup named Scooby-Doo, another is from What's New Scooby-Doo, and one other that I have seen is from Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. So, when you watch the movie, I don't want to spoil it because it's so cool and exciting to see them. But when you watch the movie, just keep a sharp eye out for those background characters and moments. So guys, I think that's it. I think that's kind of my overall thoughts with Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo without spoiling too much. I would like to do a spoiler full review after the movies come out on October 6th, so let me know if you guys would like to see that when that comes and it's out for everyone. But I will say, I really enjoy this movie. It's a lot of fun. It is a different story, and the mystery, honestly, it's very well done, and the reveal is very much like a, huh? What? So, if we can have those kind of reveals, I think it's a great Scooby-Doo movie. Again, the characters are so much fun in this one, and honestly, this makes me so excited to see what is coming next, because again, without spoiling too much, I feel like this story is not over. So guys, there are my thoughts for Happy Halloween Scooby-Doo. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the movie if you have seen it already, if you've been able to pick it up and watch it. Let me know your thoughts down below. And that's gonna do it. Hopefully you all can watch the movie soon and you enjoy it. And yeah, that's gonna do it. So, until the next one, I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!